And so that's just one of the scenarios. And you can, of course, join Keon Rose, Nick LeFew, and myself for all the action from Ridgeland High School this coming Saturday evening. We'll get on the air around 7 o'clock, kickoff right around 7:30. So you can check things out here on Nooga Radio. And tomorrow night, Hayden Clark, the head coach, and Nick LeFew and myself will be talking Eagles football and how important that game is. So we just want to give you that little bit of a preview. Riverbend continues on in the area. They've got all kinds of different activities going on, some that are outdoors oriented. So make sure you check out those particular things. Also, before you know it, high school football is going to be here. And I've got a potential guest that we're going to be talking to that has been heavily involved in the high school sports world. And we'll be talking with him here in the very near future about the upcoming season. There's been a few coaching changes going on, at Hickson rather, and also over Chattanooga Central and some other schools that are in our listening area, and talk about what kind of expectations are lying ahead here for this 2018 season with high school football, which we will be heavily involved in bringing you high school football with our game of the week. We'll start out August 16th with a big game coming up at Finley Stadium. And then on the 17th, we'll be in action and going in all the way through into the playoffs. So we hope that you will join us for that. And it will be a fun time. We've got a pretty good crew ready to go. Keon, myself, Nick LeFew, Mike Congdon, and we'll have some others that we'll be introducing here in the very near future, talking high school football. And one of the things that we'll be doing is on Thursday nights, we're going to have a show that will basically take over for Keon and myself called the Gridiron Gang Show, where we're going to be out on location at a local business. And we'll have high school football coaches and players that will be there live and talking high school football. So a lot of great plans in store. And then after the game, you can get up to date with all the latest scores, interviews, highlights, and so forth with the fifth quarter show. So a lot of exciting things coming your way with high school football beginning in August, which is really not that far away. So we hope that you will tune in for that. Tennessee Vols still making a lot of noise, trying to fine-tune as they get ready for this upcoming season. And, of course, we talk quite a bit about Tennessee football on Saturdays with Nick LeFew. And it's always fun. We try to stay away from talking about that H word that seems to have a huge impact, on what is going on with the UT program up there, the athletics and everything. And, the ire that seems to get Nick fired up and everything, because Nick has been he's a former UT student, graduate. And, of course, when he has been involved in the communications side of things, he gets to see a whole lot of the inside, behind-the-scenes type of things with the various programs and then how boosters interact with those programs. And sometimes that H word will come into play because of the impact that the boosters, football boosters, have with the program and its debacle that they've experienced over the last several years. But, as we said last night, the Vols are trying to get the program turned around. And Jeremy Pruitt, I think, I'm not a big Alabama guy, but I think, that Nick Saban and the coaches that he has had working underneath him or beside him has been a huge impact. Almost like Bill Belichick with the New England Patriots. And so, it's almost a similar situation with Saban and the Alabama assistants, where they've been able to move on, become their own head coaches, and, show what they've learned working under some of the masterful coaches that we have seen across the United States. So, Jeremy Pruitt, even though he hasn't coached yet for the Tennessee Vols, in actual game experience, well, I think that a lot of people are going to be very surprised. I mentioned yesterday during the show, by the way, you can call in at 423-800-8949. That's the phone number to call, 423-800-8949. And we'll be more than glad to talk with you and get your opinions as well. We're also on Facebook Live and on YouTube. But, the Vols were picked 9th out of the 14 teams for this upcoming SEC season, according to 24/7 Sports. And I really believe, and Keon and I kind of versed a little bit on this last night, where Tennessee, I think, should be maybe 5th or 6th. Not 9th. I don't think they're in the middle of the heap. So, with that, Tennessee, I believe, would be a much better team because they have actually brought in some JUCO players. They've had a lot of good quality signings that have happened. So, a lot of people are underestimating what Tennessee could do. It's all a guesstimation. It really is. We want to hear your opinions on that. Also, we want to tell you Marvin Stump Martin, who recently passed away, and an integral part of local sports here in the Tennessee Valley. Now, I didn't really get to experience a whole lot of it, pardon me, but I did get to meet the gentleman through the owner of the radio station and an event over at Camp Jordan, which is where he was the Camp Jordan. I mean, he was the Mr. Camp Jordan. I mean, he had all kinds of events going on over there and really did a lot for sports here in the Chattanooga area, as well as over in Rossville, Georgia, being the director of recreation for those two cities, East Ridge and Rossville. Really brought a lot of emphasis on youth sports to this area. And, that is the kind of quality individual that wants to, or that you want to see trying to help kids master things in life. And Stump Martin, like I said, for the short time that I knew him, I watched his Stump on Sports. It kind of reminds you of 70s television when you watch that. And I'm not trying to knock the show or what Stump and his wife did, but, it was just the way that it was done. And Stump Martin, classy individual, and unfortunately no longer with us, but some of the best prep baseball talent that Northwest Georgia has to offer will take on their counterparts from the Southeast Tennessee area in the 17th annual Stump on Sports Tennessee Georgia All-Star Baseball Classic this Friday night. It's going to be at Lookout Valley High School. They'll serve as the host for the Classic for the first time. Tickets are going to be $5 for the 9-inning game, which will begin at 6:30 p.m. The game will feature recent graduates from the class of 2018 from both states. And Lookout Valley coach Lance Rorix, who played in the Classic himself back in 2008, will direct the Volunteer State Club. This year's game will be played in memory of Stump Martin, the founder of the Classic, who passed away back May 10th. It's hard to believe it's been a month, but, it's just unbelievable not having someone of the caliber that Stump Martin has been for this area, for these two states, is unbelievable. This year's roster for Team Georgia will include Dylan McGinney, who's going to be going to Lafayette College, Caleb Hopkins, who's going to Hiwassee, and Austin Thompson, who's going to Chattanooga State, from Class 1A Public School State Champion Gordon Lee. Also scheduled to play for the Peach State are Blake Bryan, who's going to be going to Carson Newman, Bryce Bird, who's going to Young Harris, Justin Morris, who's going to West Georgia, Lance Dockery, who's going to Cleveland State, Cole Wilcox, who's going to Athens to play for the University of Georgia, from Region 6 Quad A champion and Class 4A state semifinalist Heritage, and Nathan Camp, who's going to Louisiana Lafayette to play for the Ragin' Cajuns, Ty Jones, who's going to Lipscomb, from Region 6 AAA champion and Class 3A state semifinalist Ringgold, Alan Coley, assistant coach at Southeast Whitfield and director of Dalton-based Team Rawlings Baseball, will guide the Georgia squad. But some of the standouts for Tennessee will have Saudi Daisy's pitcher Dylan Perry's going to Middle Tennessee State, Ottawa infielder Andrew Manning, who's going to be playing football at Chattanooga, and Baylor first baseman Teddy Lepsio, who's going to be going to Army, who played select ball for Martin from 2010 to 2011. Now, Tennessee holds the lead right now by 14-2 in the all-time series. Volunteer State won last year's meeting 14-5, where that game was played at Ottawa High School. So if you get a chance, Friday night, 6:30, head over to Lookout Valley High School for that big event, the 17th annual Stump on Sports Baseball Classic going on. Let me make sure I'm getting the right. It's the 17th annual Stump on Sports Tennessee Georgia All-Star Baseball Classic. That's this Friday night at Lookout Valley High School. Tickets are only $5. So if you get an opportunity, head over and catch some of these outstanding talents from Tennessee and Georgia. And these same fellas are going to be heading off to extend their career in the collegiate level. So a couple Division I NCAA program players that will be in this game. So you could see some future minor leaguers, maybe even a major leaguer. So be fun to check into. All right, we're going to check in with my good friend Susie Armstrong and get you updated with Ned Jarrett's World of Racing here on Nooga Radio.
An off weekend ahead for the Cup Series. So what does AJ Allmendinger have planned?
But yeah, just fun to get away with my buddies and
I'm Susie Armstrong, and this is the World of Racing.
Things happen fast in racing, and if you don't know where to look, you can miss it all. With Legend from Racing Electronics, you'll never miss another moment. Legend gives you live fan vision video, in-car cameras, and stats at NASCAR and other Premier Series events. And the next generation race scanner for unfiltered driver and crew audio at any motorsports event nationwide. NASCAR fans have never been closer to the action. Welcome to the future of the fan experience. Learn more by visiting racingelectronics.com.
One loaner tool from AutoZone can do more than most. It can help tune up an engine, tackle a brake job, throw down on a rebuild. It can work fast and hard or slow and steady. It can help grind it out, fix it right. It tightens, loosens, twists, turns, and repairs to get it done. And it did all of that just last week. There's over 100 specialty tools that AutoZone loans for free to help you get more jobs done. From free services to the right parts and advice, doing more is what we do best. Deposit required. See store for details.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series schedule features 2 off weekends this year, the April Easter break and the upcoming Father's Day holiday. The series is back in action next week at Sonoma Raceway, which happens to be one of AJ Allmendinger's best tracks. So what will he do to pass the time this week?
Yeah, just fun to get away with my buddies and just go have a fun golf trip where on the golf course we make poor decisions in so many ways. But no, just a fun weekend. Try to get away from racing. I'd be lying if I said it's not always in the back of my mind, especially since it's an off weekend going into Sonoma. But just try to have some fun and relax for a weekend.
I'm Susie Armstrong, and this is the World of Racing on the Motor Racing Network.
traffic, news, and information. Nooga Radio, digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM. 3, 2, 1. Chattanooga Radio, digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
3 Cleveland construction workers were hospitalized after a flash fire at a work site. Reports say it was a gas fire that ignited when a worker used a cigarette lighter. The 3 injured men were working on attaching hoses to kitchen appliances at the Legacy Senior Living Center in Cleveland when it happened. 67-year-old Jerry Alfred was arrested in Saudi Daisy. He's accused of child molestation. Saudi Daisy police say the department got a complaint last week saying he was involved in a sexual relationship with a juvenile. The age and identity of that juvenile will not be released for the protection of that individual. Lights out for Walnut Street Bridge illumination program. The city shut down the $4 million lighting proposal that would add data responsive lighting to the historic walking bridge. Instead, the administration will put $1.3 million of the hotel motel tax into upgrading the electronics. Val St. John for Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News Now.
Chattanooga Morning News with Russ and Val. Weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
Chattanooga weather. Any lingering showers will gradually diminish through your nighttime. Muggy overnight with some late fog, lows near 70. Now for your Thursday, partly cloudy, highs 88 to 90. Could see an isolated shower storm. Then they'll move on to the south, hotter and drier. Friday, more sun, lower 90s. For lunch or dinner, come to Guthrie's, home of the original golden fried delicious chicken finger with their special world famous sauce. Open daily, locations in Trenton, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold. Go get Guthrie's, it's always good. And I'm Soren G12, she's meteorologist at your 4.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
I got my business up and running, and it's already expanding. I got lucky. Lucky because I found Signal Voice and Data. Signal Voice and Data can incorporate all of my business information sharing and communications seamlessly, keep my costs down, and let me work more productively with endless connectivity no matter where I might be. That's called working smart, not hard. Go to signalvoicetn.com and bring the future of communication to your business today. signalvoicetn.com.
Hey, dude, check this out. Have you ever seen one so big?
Whoa, look at the size of that.
Look at this little itty-bitty one.
Wow, that's really small.
They have them big, small, and everything in between. You'll always find the biggest variety of knives at the knife shop at Frost Cutlery in Ottawa. We're talking about over 40 brands of knives, including Benchmade, WR Case & Sons, Booker, and all the Frost Cutlery brands. Now, Sam, you've been to the cutlery shop. Is it amazing?
Spectacular. The knife shop at Frost Cutlery in Ottawa. They have knives, swords, kitchen knives, ammo, and reloading supplies, plus survival gear.
It's the knife shop at Frost Cutlery. Open 7 days a week. Hey, girls, you're going to love this. We're going to the knife shop.
Hey, let's not tell them they have ammo and loading supplies.
The knife shop at Frost Cutlery opens 7 days a week. You'll always find the biggest variety of knives. You're going to love the knife shop at Frost Cutlery in Ottawa. The knife shop.
And tell them David Toulis sent you. Do you hear that? That, my friend, is not what you're thinking. That is the new 2018 Indian Chieftain Dark Horse. Yeah, Indian. Indian motorcycle is more than a bike. It's an experience, an American icon. And Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga is the only place you'll find their new 2018 line. Are you ready to ride? Join the club. Go to Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga. Just look for the sign, 153 and Amnicola. Indian Motorcycle, the true American original.
Hey, Karen, you need me for that 1 o'clock?
Yes, Cheese, please. Karen, did you get the quarterlies done? Yep, they're filed in the cabinet.
Karen, can you describe the initiatives to the new hire? Thanks.
Oh, sure. Full-bodied, some floral notes, maybe a hint of dark chocolate.
Am I in the right department?
Got wine on the mind? Come unwind at Virgola. Italian wine, oysters, caviar, cheeses, and more. Perfect after work or a romantic date night. Virgola Italian Wine Bar, 608 Georgia Avenue.
Chattanooga Paint and Decorating would like to remind you it's so hot out there. And guess what? Your deck is taking a beating. It's probably starting to show wear. If you're hosting Friends for the 4th, get your deck entertainment ready with a fresh coat of stain and protect it from heat, sun, and rain with a quality sealant. If you want to get to work, Chattanooga Paint and Decorating want to help you. For exterior paint, stains, sealants, and supplies, stop by Chattanooga Paint and Decorating today on Hicks and Pike across from Valvoline or online at chattanoogapaint.com.
Nuga Radio.
Are you brain dead? Still voting for pathetic liberals? Take 3 hours of Sean Hannity from 3 to 6.
Nuga Radio.
Then call us in the morning between 9 and 11.
92.7
Nuga Radio. It's the moment you've been waiting for. Sam Jordan's Nuga Radio, 92.7 Sports. Now.
For you, and we're glad you could join us. 423-800-8949 is the phone number to call. You can also interject with us on Facebook Live. We get various comments coming in, and of course you can also watch us on YouTube as well. So as we are preparing for this Saturday night with the Eagles, don't forget we'll be on the air around 7 o'clock with that from Ridgeland High School. The Eagles are going to be hosting the Middle Tennessee Bulldogs. And at least, and you may get a chuckle on this, the grass will be mowed. And there will be lines and hash marks. Unlike what we experienced in Nashville, 4 weeks ago? Yeah. It was unbelievable. They were trying to mow the high school field there at some magnet school. It was a beautiful facility. They just, when football season ends, they don't go back out there to mow the grass. And it was a good 3-4 inches high. And they were adding the markers, the yard lines, every 10 yards. They didn't even get to the point of putting the hash marks in. So it was like Keon and myself and Nick, we're trying to figure out, for the most part, if they were at the 21 or the 37-yard line. We were just guesstimating as best as we could. But at least when Middle Tennessee comes to Ridgeland High School on Saturday night, they'll see how a real football field is going to look like to play on in the Gridiron Development Football League. At least we hope. Maybe they will take some pointers in that regard. So that'll get underway around 7 o'clock, so make sure you join in on that with us Saturday night from Ridgeland High School. And, if you can go, bring a headset where you can listen to the game here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. We will have a very interesting game. It will be interesting in the fact that, what's that guy's name? A.J. Johnson? Or I think that's who it is. He used to be a big UT player, linebacker, and then he got allegedly accused of raping a fellow classmate, I guess, at UT, and his career kind of went by the wayside, and he probably would have made the NFL, but A.J. Johnson. And he just got signed this week by Middle Tennessee Bulldogs. So he is trying to get his career back on track. And you don't want to see anybody get railroaded like that. And I guess it was just an allegation, never was proven. And so he's trying to get back on that fast track and go back and play at UT or anything like that. So he's going to the next best step and playing semi-pro football. And hopefully he can either get on with an NFL team or a CFL team or maybe one of the arena football teams once they get back in action. And, with the two new football leagues that are coming in 2020, there could be a possibility there. There's a lot of opportunity. And so, we don't wish any ill will toward them or anything like that, but it will be formidable for the Eagles to face a beast of the size of a man that A.J. Johnson is. I mean, he is built like a beast, but that's football. That's coming up Saturday night, so we'll talk more on football tomorrow night. Chattanooga Lookouts are on the road in Birmingham to finish up their first half of the season. A little bit of a rough ending at home as well, actually in the last several games, I mean, they were trying to snap a 4-game losing streak that they've been experiencing to the Montgomery Biscuits. But Tuesday night, they lost 4-2. The Lookouts are 34-30 on the season, tied for second in the North Division with those same Biscuits. Whereas prior to the start of that series, the Lookouts were actually in first. And Montgomery just played spoiler. And now the Lookouts on the road to finish out this first half of the season at Birmingham to take on the Barons. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think we've actually been pretty good against the Barons when we played them here this season so far. So hopefully this will be a pick-me-up, and hopefully we can regain that first-place status that the Lookouts have enjoyed for the last little while. And if you haven't made it to AT&T Field to catch the Lookouts, do so. They're a very fun team to watch. Now, you may disagree with me here with this last homestand, but Chattanooga does have a great atmosphere. One of the very storied franchises here in minor league baseball. And the Lookouts, part of the Minnesota Twins organization, really does put on an outstanding show, to say the least. So if you get a chance, head over to AT&T Field and support your local minor league baseball team in the Chattanooga Lookouts here in the Southern Division of minor league baseball. We'll actually have tickets that we'll be giving away. We're also going to be at AT&T Field coming up after the 4th of July with a couple of promotional nights, and we'll be talking about those as we get closer to those dates, and we want to encourage you to come out and be a part of that as well. So with that, we'll have tickets that we'll be giving away for those different promotional nights that will be in conjunction with Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. 423-800-8949 is the phone number to call. That's 423-800-8949. Or if you'd like, you can also pose the question to us on our Facebook page with Facebook Live. That's Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. And you can pose a question on there as well. We're looking at the screen here. And when we see the question pop up, if it's very relevant to what we're discussing here with sports, we'll definitely pass that along and give you an answer as well. But everybody's talking. Well, I should say most people, whether it's on radio or TV or you see it in print. Where's LeBron going? I think everybody's infatuated with where LeBron is going. I saw on Facebook, and you know what you see on Facebook, but, you know, since Colin Cowherd was interviewing LeVar Ball again, and it's like this guy ought to start his own marketing firm if he hasn't already.
He wants to be his own marketing firm. Like he does the marketing for his sons and everything else. I mean,
right. But I almost imperatively laughed at the comment he made. It's like he's full of himself.
Oh, completely. Absolutely. 100%.
He's saying dream team with the Lakers, with his two sons and LeBron being the main focus of the Lakers' rebirth.
Listen, we knew already that LeVar Ball was delusional. He's already written one of his sons onto the team that's not on the team. Right. LiAngelo is, listen, this is going to be a really strong opinion, so I might even call it a hot take. LiAngelo Ball is never playing basketball in the NBA. He ruined it for him. He pulled his son out of UCLA. He had him play overseas. They played overseas for 4 games. The coach over there hated them. He's never playing in the
wasn't
NBA.
there a visa issue as well? Oh, that was with UCLA.
Yeah, that was with UCLA,
Yeah.
and the visa issue came because him and a friend of his shoplifted in China,
Right.
and they were detained.
Yeah.
And they had to have a whole bunch of stuff go through in order for them to come back to the United States. You know, like Trump had to put in a word on their behalf. Like it got out of hand.
Right.
And what I'm saying is, it's a circus. It's a circus.
Right.
Like no one's doing that. Like it's not a dream team if you have two good players. You'd have LeBron and Lonzo's very good.
Right.
Kyle Kuzma, that's not a dream team. You know what I mean? Like you still don't have the other pieces to make that a dream team. You would have a playoff team, obviously, because everywhere LeBron goes, you can make the playoffs.
Right.
That's it. That's all you're guaranteed.
I don't think LeBron would feel comfortable with having that kind of a spectacle going on.
No, he's very under the wire. And in fact, we know this because of the way that his free agency is already panning out. Nobody knows where he wants to go.
Right.
There aren't even rumors. He keeps everything very close to his chest. He doesn't expose anything. Yeah, he's not a circus guy.
Right. Even though it's going to seem like this offseason is going to be a circus.
It is, but it'll be all media generated. Like we're going to be the ones that'll make it a circus.
Right.
Yeah. Not him.
Here's my question for you. Is there any other free agents that we know of that not necessarily on the caliber of LeBron, but could generate some headlines?
As soon as we figure out where LeBron's going, I think people are going to start trying to see who they can get next. Paul George is a very good option that's available. He didn't have a great season this last season. I think that's because he played with Westbrook, and it's just hard to play with Westbrook and be good.
Yeah.
But I think Paul George is a great second prize. He's incredibly athletic. He's a two-way player.
Well, Colin also posed the question to LeVar, about whether Paul George would be a good addition to the Lakers if LeBron came, and also the two ball players, Alonzo and
LiAngelo.
Yeah, if they were that dream team per se. And it's like LeVar Ball, the dad, says Paul George. It's like,
right,
like he is because he got hurt. So, that's probably taking the stock down quite a bit, for Paul George.
Yeah, he broke his leg a couple of years ago, and he hasn't been the same player that he's been since he injured his leg.
Right.
But he's still been really good. I mean, it's not like people treat him like he's just fallen off a cliff. And again, if you looked at him in the playoffs this year, he did not play well. I will give you that. But a lot of that is Russell Westbrook. I mean, Kevin Durant leaves Russell Westbrook, he gets better. And then Reggie Jackson leaves Russell Westbrook, and he gets better. And Victor Oladipo leaves Russell Westbrook, and he gets better. I mean, it's just starting to be a trend. Yeah. And I imagine Paul George also follows the trend.
Yeah. But it just was kind of funny to see, that video on that from the Colin Cowherd show. And I don't really get into, what do they call that? With Alonzo Ball and everything, they were calling it some. There was a name for it, because of all the hype that LeVar Ball was putting on his sons and stuff.
Yeah,
and it's like, it's just a lot of hype and hyperbole.
Yeah, I mean, it's over the top, but that's part of his shtick. It's one of the reasons why, even though, because he doesn't play basketball, he doesn't really add anything to this conversation. We continue to talk about him anytime he does something, because he's a really good hype man.
Yeah,
that's what he's great at. He's done a good job of marketing for his kids.
Did the dad ever play NBA ball?
No, I played in college. He averaged 2 points a game.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He is a good hype man, that's for sure.
Completely buried the fact that he was not any good in college. He came off the bench and averaged 2 points a game.
He's trying to overcompensate, for his inadequacies, I guess.
Yeah, and it's a shame because I think his kids are talented. I think Lonzo's really good. LiAngelo is not as good, and I think the youngest son, LaMelo, who also, because he had him play overseas as well, is not eligible to play at university. So he ruined that for him too. But I think LaMelo is also brilliant, but he's spoiled and he doesn't play any defense. And you can see it, and I don't know how that pans out going into the future, but it
is what it is.
The
saga continues.
It continues, but he's done a really good job of making a path for them.
Right.
Because without him hyping up LiAngelo, I don't think we even know who LiAngelo is.
Yeah.
In the same way that Steph Curry has a brother, but we don't know him.
Yeah. All right. That's interesting to quickly end that discussion. Let's check in with NASCAR today and find out what the latest is going on in the various garages as they prepare for the following weekend, the weekend after Father's Day, with NASCAR racing action.
It's an off weekend for the Cup drivers, so what do they do?
On the golf course, we make poor decisions in so many ways.
I'm Woody Kane. The story next on NASCAR Today.
Kyle Petty here. My friends at Click & Close, the official mortgage provider of NASCAR, have stepped up this year to support Victory Junction through the fastest lap of the race program on NASCAR radio. So join our team. Go to clickandclose.com/NASCAR today to donate $43 or more and help us give the gift of camp to children with serious medical conditions. That's clickandclose.com/NASCAR. And just look for the Victory Junction logo. Thanks to Click & Close and NASCAR Radio for their support this season.
For children with chronic medical conditions, Victory Junction means friends, fun, freedom. That's because we provide a medically safe environment where kids who live in a world of hospitals and doctors' visits can laugh, play, and discover all they can be, all at no cost to their families. Victory Junction inspires confidence, builds self-esteem, and changes the life of every camper who comes through our gates. Find out how you can change a child's life. Go to victoryjunction.org.
With a rare off weekend coming up for the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series teams, drivers are scattering to get a little R&R. Some travel and some stay closer to home, like AJ Allmendinger, who's hitting the links.
Just go have a fun golf trip, just a fun weekend. Try to get away from racing. I'd be lying if I said it's not always in the back of my mind, especially since it's an off weekend going into Sonoma. But just try to have some fun and relax for a weekend.
Elsewhere, Roush Fenway Racing says Matt Kenseth will drive 10 more races for the team in the 6 car this year, and NASCAR has released the 2019 Truck and Xfinity Series schedules. More on both now at MRN.com. I'm Woody Kane. This is NASCAR Today on the Motor Racing Network.
You can catch all your NASCAR racing action right here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. They're off this weekend because of Father's Day and everything. And then they'll be back in action the following Sunday out in Sonoma, California with the, I think it's the Save Mart 300 because of being a road course and everything. So, or maybe it's the Save Mart 400, but I think it's the Save Mart 300. And it is out there at Sonoma Raceway. And you can catch that race right here in its entirety on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. Don't forget, coming up on June 23rd, June 24th, the 36th Annual Chattanooga Waterfront Triathlon will be going on in downtown Chattanooga. Nuga Radio 92.7 FM, proud sponsor of that event, and we'll be broadcasting live on both days from downtown Chattanooga, from Ross's Landing. And the 23rd, they'll have like an expo that'll be going on throughout the day. Various vendors will be out and about there along Ross's Landing, and they're in downtown Chattanooga. Then on the 24th, I will be on a bicycle, not built for two, but built for one. And I will not be wearing spandex. I assure you of that. You do not want to see a 51-year-old man wearing spandex on a bicycle. There's probably some out there that do, but not this one. We don't really want to see that. I have not rode or I should say, well, I guess rode would be the proper word, a bike in a long time, but I used to race them competitively when I lived in Arkansas back in the 80s. And it will be fun to get back on a bicycle. You know, you don't forget how to ride a bicycle. You really don't. Now, I've rode exercise bikes and everything. So, you know, in the last several years, because of trying to work out, trying to lose weight and that sort of thing. So I think that, you know, I will do fine. A lot of people here at the station with present company included, it probably laughed about that in some way, shape, or form. Especially the boss. He really wants to see that in a photograph, that I can actually ride a bicycle. I'm going to show you. But, you know, I'm 250 pounds. I could lose a few pounds, but I can still ride a bike. And we're going to be doing it that day on the 24th as well, broadcasting on that bike. And we'll also have our Hummer down there as well. It'll be decked out and everything, and we'll have our canopies there at the start-finish line as well. So we encourage you to come on out and check it out. Locker Room Show with Sam Jordan is done for another night. The Clutch with Keanu Rose coming up here after the break, so stick around. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Have a good one.
Traffic, news, and information. Nuga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
3, 2, 1.
Chatta, Nuga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
Eastridge police say that there was a shooting at the Newcastle Apartments just off Springvale Road. Police rushed to the scene and found the victim on his way to the hospital. They intercepted him and rushed him there themselves. Police say they found 2 vehicles riddled with bullets and shell casings in the home of the victim. The Hamilton County Sheriff's Office says a woman called 911 telling them there was a man on the roof of her car trying to break in. Police intercepted the vehicle and arrested the man on the roof, who they say is Calvin Hanks, who already had warrants out for his arrest. A suspect was arrested in an almost decade-old cold case. Mallory Vaughn arrested for the murder of 68-year-old Franklin Bonner. Mr. Bonner was discovered by his wife in 2009 in their ransacked home, dead, his face duct-taped. Bonner was a retired public works employee, but police say he also sold marijuana on the side and was known to have large amounts of cash in his house. Russell Stroud, Nuga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Chattanooga Morning News with Russ and Val. Weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on Nuga Radio, 92.7 FM.
Chattanooga weather.
Any lingering showers will gradually diminish through your nighttime. Muggy overnight with some late fog, lows near 70. Now for your Thursday, partly cloudy, highs 88 to 90. Could see an isolated shower storm. Then they'll move on to the south, hotter and drier. Friday, more sun, lower 90s. For lunch or dinner, come to Guthrie's, home of the original golden fried delicious chicken finger with their special world famous sauce. Open daily, locations in Trenton, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold. Go get Guthrie's, it's always good. And I'm Soren G12, she's meteorologist Patch Report.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Hey, Karen, you need me for that 1 o'clock?
Yes, Cheese, please. Karen, did you get the quarterlies done? Yep, they're filed in the cabinet. Cabinet.
Karen, can you describe the initiatives to the new hire? Thanks.
Oh, sure. Full-bodied, some floral notes, maybe a hint of dark chocolate.
Am I in the right department?
Got wine on the mind? Come unwind at Virgola. Italian wine, oysters, caviar, cheeses, and more. Perfect after work or a romantic date night. Virgola Italian Wine Bar, 608 Georgia Avenue.
Now, Rick wants you to buy on U.S. Gold American coins. Are you tired of making 1% on your investments with the banks? Even 2 or 3% at best? Now, Rick wants you to buy on U.S. Gold American coins.
Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, Brainerd Road.
Wow, Triumph Spitfire. I haven't seen one of those in ages. Boy.